Alrighty, friends, welcome back to another episode of the survival series. Actually, the second to last episode of the Let's Build a Survival Map series that I've been running on this channel. I just want to say, for the longest time, if you've been watching me when I started this series like 2 years ago or something ridiculous like that, I just want to say thank you. I mean, really. I think it's crazy that I've even planned this ahead of time for the finale to be the next episode, which will come out in February. But I have everything written down in my notebook. I have everything I want to accomplish in these next 2 episodes, and I really do think I'll be able to at least be able to release this map in some sort of early access state by the end of the next episode, which is really, really exciting. But it's also very nerve-wracking because now the stakes are very high, and you know, I don't really want to disappoint people with this map. I want to have a serious one-to-one conversation here. You know, this is sort of a passion project. It's something I've kind of always wanted to create in Fortnite, and well, there have been times I sort of lost interest in the project for a while. I never wanted to give it up. I always wanted to see it come to fruition. And you know, I don't spend every waking moment of my life working on this YouTube channel, working on this map, and I just hope the expectations aren't too high, because I feel like with a wait this long, you know, people might be expecting a little more than what they're getting. At the end of the day, it's going to be about a 2.5-3 hour map if you know what you're doing, and I think it'll leave at least the people who have been following the series very pleased with you know, the final result. There's also a lot of bugs in Fortnite Creative that will remain in the final version of Gatheria Beans, whatever we're calling it. Bugs that I quite literally just can't do anything about, and it's something I guess people are just gonna have to accept in the map. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll be able to work on it even more and really enhance it with UEFN. But for the time being, I'm just gonna film these last 2 episodes, get a map code, put out a trailer, maybe do some bug fixing after people tell me what is broken in the map, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Really is about the journey, guys, and you know, I really can't thank you enough. I don't think I say that enough on this YouTube channel. But without further ado, I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna go over what we're going to do this episode. So we're gonna finish the SHADOWSHARD biome, which is this stretch I made in the last episode, of which I kind of rage quit at the end, but it's fine. We're gonna set up a crafting area in the field, which I think I kind of teased in the last 2 episodes. But yeah, there's going to basically be this shrine over here that you're gonna be able to use and craft SHADOWSHARD armor, SHADOWSHARD hammer, and you'll be able to craft or make some sort of potion or whatever to basically make you immune to hunger, so you won't have to go and scavenge for food at all. I've also yet to place down the food that's going to be on the moon, which are these like plant things that you're going to be able to eat. And last but not least, we are going to make sure that the rocket is functioning, right? So we need rocket blueprints that the player is going to have to find in order to build the rocket to get to the moon, right over here. And we also need a sort of crafting system, right? So the player will have to find the rocket launch pad and then the rocket itself. That's what we're gonna do in this episode. So I'm gonna start by extending these walls down and around into this section, and I'm gonna do that off camera. It's not really fun to watch. I guess I could like talk about Fortnite in general if I really wanted to while I'm doing it, but I'm just gonna throw on some music, chill out, and fill out the walls, and then we can do all the decoration and stuff after. Alrighty, friends, so I have finished all the walls in this area, and I've placed the pitfalls, right? So we got this red goop from I think the Underworld Elemental Cube Gallery right here, and I think it looks pretty good, and that's what we're gonna use. So this stuff will eliminate you instantly, and you'll be sent all the way back to the base in the overworld. So don't fall in it. I mean, it's pretty easy to avoid, but one little slip up and you're a goner. So you might notice this little open area over here. This is going to be a sort of gate structure, and it's going to lead to a little city in the back, which you're not going to be able to get to because I'm that evil. But the reasoning for that is because the people who were in the overworld moved over to the moon once the corruption area started spreading over there, and that's going to be their little city. Now, depending on the memory usage, I'm going to have to see probably in the next episode, because I have no idea. We can try and use the guard spawner. Now, the reason why I've been avoiding this device is because because it is quite literally worth 5,000 memory, which it's so much. But there is a lot of customization with the guard spawner. I think it would make for better enemies on the moon, at least. But yeah, as of right now, I don't know about that. We're gonna have to see. Let's start building out more of the area. So these are the pieces that I'm gonna be using. Not these, because these are broken, and I crashed out last time because the game just kept hating me. Yeah, so as you can see, I already put a little bit of nature over here, but it's not going to be overwhelming, because this nature is for this area, not this area. So, I mean, really, I'm just going to, like, spam this stuff everywhere, and I think it'll work out in our favor. Nature isn't perfect, you know? The perfection in nature is in the imperfection. You never really have to be perfect when you place down this kind of stuff. I'm just kind of worried that it'll confuse the AI a little. Again, we're just gonna have to see. If it does, the players are gonna have to deal with it, because there's not really anything I can do with pathfinding. I think. I mean, they have the pathfinding device, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to experiment with that a bit, I guess. Yeah, so there's all the flowers. Start placing the bushes down. Now, originally I was gonna have like a dungeon area that you'd have to traverse through. So basically you'd go into the aliens, or the people who move from the overworld to the moon. You'd go into like their base, right? But I honestly kind of figured that would cost a little too much. It'd be a little too taxing to create an entire dungeon. So it would be really cool. Maybe, you know, maybe I could do updates in the future. With how things are going currently, I'm gonna have some memory to spare, especially if I convert it to a UEFN island, and, you know, UEFN does its thing and optimizes everything. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm gonna stick some of these in the walls like I did in the other area. In this segment, try and hide the other area with the bushes, and that'll do. Less work for me. And we'll do the same like over here, just because it looks cool. So there's that. It's looking pretty good. Let's place the flowers, or whatever the hell these things are. I don't even know. I don't know. They look pretty good with the magenta pink bushes. Now, of course, I'm gonna add like particle effects and stuff. There's still a whole lot more I've got to do here. Now, what's really gonna bring this area together are all the trees, the cherry blossom looking ones. But this is one of those things where like I could leave it like this and it would look completely fine. Very curious to see what enhancements I could possibly do without too much effort from UEFN. Now, obviously, I've screwed around with UEFN in the past, but I really wasn't fond of building things with UEFN. It was just so tedious, and I felt like I was faster just in-game. Of course, there's that old Rex Royale remake that I was working on. It had like custom terrain assets and all that, and I wasn't really liking how that was coming out either, so I kind of just stopped with UEFN. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Let's add the trees in. This is looking completely fine. I want like a very straightforward line of sight to the gate in the back, which I'm accomplishing. We're just gonna have to move this tree. See that? See, that looks awesome now. And just like that, we have an entire new biome. Now there's a little more things that I'm gonna do off camera that are very much chores. Putting up barriers so players can't jump out of the map like I have done over here. Spreading around the actual Shadow Shard crystals. I'm gonna have to do a few mechanics like with the pitfalls over here, like, you know, just really boring stuff. The next time I see you, hopefully I'm gonna be doing something interesting in this area, and we're gonna finish it up and move on to probably making the rocket blueprints and all that next. So okay, so I did a few things off camera, really boring. Anyway, I have made the executive decision to make it so the player doesn't need to go find the blueprints for the actual rocket itself. Not only is it going to save me time and headache with all the mechanics, but I feel as though when the player immediately comes out of the tunnel, or, you know, the base where you start out in, they'll see the platform and they'll see that they can build a rocket. And of course they're going to want to build the rocket because it's a rocket. I feel like it'll give a little more incentive to the player. It'll just work out in the end is what I'm saying. But I actually kind of wanted to show people how it is that I build these mechanics, because while it may be boring to watch over and over again, I don't think I've actually shown how the building mechanics work in this game. And it actually is really easy. So of course it all starts out by getting a, what do we call these again? Conditional button. There you go. And I actually gotta clear out the items out of this one. I just copied it from the cave over there. And to build the rocket, you're gonna need a power cell, and you're also gonna need a whole lot of metal. So let's just go in here. You're gonna need like 20 metal and 1 power cell. And then for the interact text, we're gonna do build rocket. And then in parentheses, we're gonna do 20 metal plus active power cell. And we're gonna copy that text, and in the missing items text, we're just gonna add the word needed. The color I'm gonna make, let's do this. Just because it's like a really special build, it's gonna allow you to travel to the moon. Well, when we press this button, we're gonna want the blueprints to completely disappear. And we're also gonna want the rocket to appear. So of course, we're gonna need a prop manipulator, and that's gonna go right here. And we're gonna set it so when the build rocket button is pressed, this is going to hide props. So let me delete these that I already had in here. Hide props when receiving from the build rocket button. And we're gonna do on activated. And now that is completely done. So there's that. Now the button we're gonna want to disappear when receiving from itself. So we're gonna do something a little tricky here. Build rocket button, on activated. It'll actually disable. Okay, now I need another prop manipulator, and then we can just attach it to our rocket. And this is very important. Our prop is going to start hidden, okay? And then we're going to show when receiving from the button. So the rocket, build rocket button on activated. We're gonna show. Now here's where the save system comes in. So we use switches. These are switches. They're just set to appear like check marks, like check boxes. So we go to our goals build rocket switch, and we already have it. So you know, when the player saves, it's going to save the state of the switch, and when the player loads, it's going to load everything. Okay, and we are going to turn on the device when it receives from the build rocket button. And now all we need to do is make sure that when the switch is loaded, the rocket is loaded in the state that the player left it the last time, right? We need to go through everything again. So we're going to hide the blueprints. We are going to show the rocket. We are going to disable the button. Whole lot of stuff to keep track of. Also, ignore the terrible, I don't even know what happened there. I'm gonna have to fix. So now I'm gonna start the game. I'm gonna go to my little cheats area, get all items. I think you get the general idea. And when we interact, here we go. All right, I did some bug fixing because it was a little jank last time. Now, I don't know why conditional buttons are acting this way, but whenever there's something in front of me, I can't press it. I mean, like, it's fine. It still works. Like, you're still able to interact with it if you look at it from a certain angle, but it's just really annoying. Let's do it. Here we go. And then it says to the moon, build the rocket. Whether or not that those XP rewards will ever be calibrated, I have no idea. I might just condense all the accolades into one channel. And that's how we'll handle it. Alrighty, so the entire rocket situation is all figured out and done. You can now craft the rocket. You can go up to the rocket and it will take you to the moon. So now the last thing on the agenda is to get the crafting station in the field over here completed. Now these things right here are going to be called celestial altars. And you're gonna have to go up to these. One of them will be damaged. You'll have to repair one of them. And these things will allow you to craft SHADOWSHARD armor and the SHADOWSHARD hammer, the endgame weapon on the map. And via the power of starlight or whatever, these things will be able to craft those items if you have the necessary materials. I'm also going to not do the whole hunger avoidance thing. I feel like that would be a little too convoluted, especially if there's multiple players on the map. Not saying it can't be done, I just don't want to deal with all the mechanics for it. Okay, so what I'm probably going to do is just make another food source that will be spread out in the poison cave area, and players will hopefully be fine. I'm kind of just pulling random junk out of the agency gallery, and it's kind of working. Yeah, you know what? I think this is what we're going to do. Yeah, look at that. That's cool looking. And we're gonna put the other one like there. See, that'll do. So one of them will be for the hammer, and then the other one will be for the armor. Or the hammer. I don't know. One's for the hammer, one's for the armor. I think I'm going a little crazy here. I don't know. But one thing I am certainly excited for are these effects that I created such a long time ago for the crafting system over here. Both of these trippy purple blue effects are for the celestial altars. So when you craft an item, they're gonna do these effects, and I just think it's gonna look cool. That's really about it. Alrighty, friends, so I just did all the mechanics for the shrine to craft the SHADOWSHARD hammer. I'm gonna save the armor for off camera because that's gonna be a little more complex, and this was already complex enough, especially with the broken altar over there. So I'm just gonna cheat. So if we come here, we can repair the altar with spectral twine. Okay, so my prop manipulator didn't work, but hopefully the effects here work. Yes. Oh, that's so cool. And now I have the sledgehammer. So I guess the only thing I really have to fix is the prop manipulator. It could have been a lot worse. The whole thing could have, you know, not worked. So let's cheat again and do that over. Let's hope my prop manipulator works, which it should. Yep. Then this. That is so cool. I'm so happy with that, man. Oh, and then you get the hammer. Alrighty, guys, so that's gonna have to be it for this episode. You can always use my supporter creator code in the item shop if you want to support me further. Also, subscribe, pretty important. I don't think we're gonna reach our goal by the end of the month, which it was 8,500. Before that, it was 9,000. That's not gonna happen. I'm fine with that. But if you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the final episode of the survival series / beans.